Good day, friends. Let's start with our next topic. My next lecture on the subject ATP Unit 5, and we'll continue with UDPFI. Now, last lecture we have seen about distribution of land use. Now, in this lecture, we'll see the next part, that is infrastructure, and in continuous lecture commercial facilities, recreational facilities, traffic and transportation. Now let's see physical infrastructure UDPA guidelines. So physical infrastructure and social infrastructure. In physical infrastructure, we come on for water supply, water requirement for institutional buildings, sewage, drainage, electricity, and solid waste disposal. In social infrastructure, educational facilities, healthcare facilities, socio-cultural facilities, distribution services, police and fire. Now let's say start with infrastructure. Now it is a basic requirement of urban life. Innovative efforts to ensure wide coverage and equitable distribution. Now in physical infrastructure, water supply. Let's see the various aspects of water supply, that is domestic, non-domestic, and according to the size of town. Now let's say uh, domestic aspect, and absolute minimum requirement for small size town, it is 70 LPCD, that is liter per capita per day. That is one person should be supplied with 70 liter of uh, water per day. For medium size town, it should be 70 to 100 LPCD. For large and metro cities, it is 135 LPCD. And it is desirable that 100 LPCD should be supplied for a small town. For medium scale town, for 135 to 150 LPCD, and for large and metro cities, it should be 135 to 150 LPCD. For non-domestic use such as firefighting and public purpose use, 1% of total demand should be given to each town, each where, in spite of its category. And for public purpose, that is garden, street cleaning, public toilets, bus stand, railway station, etc., etc. For public purpose, it should be given to 10 to 15 LPCD for small town. For medium scale town, it should be given to 20 to 25 LPCD, and for large and metro cities, it should be given to 30 to 35 LPCD. Now, comment or conclusion: the 135 LPCD of water consumption includes the need for firefighting also. Now, water requirement for institutional buildings. We will see the type of institution and demand, that is liters per head per cap day, or liter per capacity per day, or liter according to the criteria. So hospital, number of beds exceeding 100 beds, so 450 per bed should be supplied per day. Now number of beds not exceeding 100, 340 liters per bed should be supplied to the hospital. For hotels, that is residential, for lodging 180 per bed. For hostels, it is 135 per bed. Boarding schools, college and restaurants, it should be 135 per LPCD, liters per capita per day. For airport and seaports, it should be 70 per seat. And junction stations and intermediate stations, it should be 70 LPCD per seat. Terminal stations and intermediate, it comes to 70 liters per seat. Station per day schools and colleges, it should be 45 per seat. And office and factories, it should be 45 per seat. Cinema, concert halls and theaters, 45 per seat, and 15 for small theaters or other requirements. Now comment or conclusion: water is an important resource, hence water harvesting should be encouraged in institutional. Rainwater harvesting should be encouraged in institutional buildings as well as residential zones, especially in medium towns and cities. Now, sewage and drainage. The drainage system for any city town is governed by mainly by natural course and topography. The discharge is calculated that guides the requirement for provision of additional drain as well as upgradation of existing drain. The treatment of sewage is essential to provide hygienic conditions. The sewage is estimated at the rate of 80% of the water supply demand. The large and metro cities shall be provided with regular sewage treatment facilities at zonal or city level. The newly developed areas shall have community level septic tanks based on economic and environmental considerations. The squatter settlement may be provided with a facility of one toilet for 4 to 5 families based on the concept of low cost and low water consumption. Comment: water is an important resource, hence rainwater harvesting should be encouraged. Sorry. Comment: in case of sewage and drainage, I am absolutely sorry. In case of developing cities, the treatment plant shall be planned with possible future expansion including biogas plant, energy conservation and environment consideration. Electricity. Now power supply consumption works out to be about 2 kilowatt per household at the city level, including domestic, commercial, industrial, and other requirements. One electric substation of 11 kilovolt for a population of at least 15,000 is recommended for town and cities. Comment or conclusion: solar power system shall be emphasized in residential as well as institutional areas. Biogas plants shall be initiated in small and medium towns. Now, solid waste disposal. The garbage is removed and dumped at the sanitary landfill, or in some cases, it is converted to compost, especially in small towns. The generation of waste varies from a quarter of kg in a small towns to about half a kg per capita in large and metro cities. Conclusion or suggestions or comment: garbage separation of dry wet garbage and recyclable material to be achieved efficient method of disposal shall be encouraged by educating people. Now, social infrastructure. These facilities shall be provided with 25% additional population. In case of metro cities, these facilities serve the regional demand. In case of small and medium towns, the villages and surrounding areas depends on them. Educational facilities: pre-primary to secondary education. Pre-primary nursery school, one for 2,500 people population. For senior secondary school, one for 7,500 population. For technical education center, one such center provided for every 10 lakhs population include one industrial training institute, that is ITI, and one polytechnic institute, that is our diploma courses. Now college, one for 1.25 lakhs of population. For number of students, 1000 to 1500. Area about 1.80 hectare. University campus, 10 hectares shall be provided. Comment, conclusion or suggestion: these are found to be insufficient, but location of these facilities are more important for development. Now healthcare facilities. Now general hospital. Hospital for 2.5 lakh population capacity. About 5,000 beds of hospital should be provided. Initially the provision may be for 300 beds. Now area for hospital is 4 hectare. Area for residential accommodation total 2 hectare. So total area is for a general hospital should be 6 hectare. Now intermediate hospital, one hospital for 1 lakh population capacity. Area for hospital is about 2.70 hectare. Area for residential accommodation 1 hectare, and total area about 3.70 hectare. Now nursing home, child welfare and maternity center, one for 0.45 to 1 lakh population. Capacity area 25 to 30 beds, and area is 0.2 to 0.30 hectare. Dispensary, one for 0.15 lakh population, that is 15,000 population. Area 0.08 to 0.12 hectare. Comment, suggestion or conclusion: the ratio of dispensary is very less as due to polluted environment and lifestyle of urban areas and accidents occurring every day. This needs to be improved, modified for metro cities. Socio-cultural facilities, community room, one for 5,000 population area. So we require 660 square meter of community room. Now community hall and library, one for 15,000 population area of approximate 2,000 square meter area. Now recreational club, one for 1 lakh population area, and area of the recreational club should be 10,000 square meter. Music, dance and drama center, one for 1 lakh population area of approximately 1,000 square meter. Now meditation and spiritual center for 1 lakh population area, it should be 5,000 square meter. And socio-cultural center, one for 10 lakh population area, and it should be about 15 hectares. Now comment, conclusion or suggestion. This needs to be improved in metro cities as music, dance and drama centers are not only cultural oriented but it's a part of industry. These facilities can be clubbed with commercial activity. Now distribution services like petrol pump. One petrol pump for 150 hectare of gross residential areas in residential zone. Next one petrol pump for 40 hectare of gross industrial area. Two petrol pumps in each district center and one petrol pump in each community center. Comment, suggestion or conclusion. These are sufficient and adequate. Now milk distribution center, one milk booth for about 5,000 population. Comment, suggestion or conclusion. These are sufficient and adequate. LPG godown, one gas godown for 40 to 50,000 population is sufficient for any size of town. The major concern for its storage and distribution is the location, which will be away from the residential areas. Comment, conclusion or suggestion. These are sufficient and adequate. Now police station. Let's see about police. Police station, one for 90,000 population and area inclusive of essential residential accommodation about 1.5 hectare. Police post, that is police substation, one for 0.4 to 0.5 lakh population, that is police chowki. Police post means police chowki, one for 0.4 to 0.5 lakh of population. Area inclusive of residential accommodation is 0.16 hectare. District office and battalion, one for 10 lakh population. Area should be 0.80 hectare. Area for district office, area for battalion, total area 4 hectare and total area is 4.80 hectare. Police line, one for 20 lakh population, 4 to 6 hectare, and district jail, one for 10 lakh population. Area requires 10 hectare area. Now comment, conclusion, suggestion. The police line is less in case of metro cities. Now firefighting station, one fire station or substations within 1 to 3 km to be provided for 2 lakh population. And area for fire station with essential residential accommodation, it should be 1 hectare. And area for sub fire station with essential residential accommodation, it should be 0.60 hectare. Comment, conclusion or suggestion. The disaster management centers and rehabilitation centers shall be encouraged in social infrastructure. Now let's see commercial facilities. Now under commercial facility, hierarchy of commercial centers, area of commercial centers and distribution of shops. Now commercial activity. Hierarchy of commercial center is a function of the hierarchy of planning units in an urban center. Now let's see planning unit, population served and hierarchy of commercial center. Okay, so housing cluster, for housing cluster of 1,000 to 4,000 population, we should have a cluster center. Per sector, a population of 5,000 to 20,000, we should have a sector center. For community, a population of 25 to 1 lakh people, community center should be provided. For district, a population of 1,25,000 to 5 lakhs, we should have district center. A sub-city and population ranges from 25 lakhs to 50 lakhs, a sub-city center. And for a city, with population with 50 lakhs, more than 50 lakhs or 50 lakhs plus, we should provide a city center. Comment, conclusion or suggestion, this distribution is found to be sufficient. Now distribution of shops, type of shops, district, community, sector and cluster. Formal shops total, there should be 1250 shops, out of which 365 should be community, sector wise it is should be 55 and cluster wise it is 24 minimum. For general retail there should be 1200 shops, 295 community shops, 35 sector shop and 16 cluster shop. Fruits and vegetable, it's not specified, for number of shops not specified. Community, for community shops it should be, for community sector it should be 40, for sector it should be 6 and for cluster it should be 3. Service and repairs, there should be 50 shops, for community it should be 30, for sector it is 13 and 5, for cluster it is 5. Now informal shops, in district it should be 370, for community 120, sector 22 and cluster 13. Now general retail 355 shops should be there for district, 88 for community, 14 for sector and 8 for cluster. Comment, suggestion or conclusion, fruits and vegetable markets location shall be to avoid road plan encroachment by local hawkers. Now area for commercial center, area for 1000 number of shop persons, this is person, and area per 1000 persons and number of shops. So cluster center, the shop should be 220 square meter and it should be 1 for 110 persons. Sector center, area of shop should be 300 square meter and it should be 1 for 200 persons. Community center, area of shop should be 500 square meter. Area of commercial center should be 500 square meter and it should be 1 for 200 persons. Now for district center, area of commercial center should be 880 square meter and it should be 1 for behind 300 persons. Comment, conclusion or suggestion, these are found to be sufficient. Now recreational facilities. In planning unit, housing cluster, 3 to 4 local parks and playgrounds and 3 to 4 local parks and playground. For housing cluster should be, for 3 to 4 local parks should be provided and 3 to 4 playgrounds should be provided. For sectors, 3 to 4 playgrounds should be provided. Community, 2 to 3 community level park and open spaces. District, 1 district level park and sports center or a maidan or a ground. Sub-city center, 1 city level park, sports complex, botanical or zoological garden or a maidan, playground. And overall city level it should be 10 square meter to 12 square meter per person. Now type of recreational facilities and area in square meter. Now for small town, the recreational facilities, the area should be 1 to 1.25 hectare per 1000 person. For medium town, it should be 1.4 to 1.6 hectare per 1000 person. Large cities 1.2 to 1.4 hectare per 1000 person. Comment, conclusion or suggestion, local parks, playgrounds and open spaces shall be distributed evenly in case of metro cities. The proportion for large cities is average for small and medium town as land as costlier in case of large cities. Now miscellaneous facilities, cremation, burial ground, that is smashan or amardham, provision or kabristan, provision of at least 2 sites for 5 lakhs per population and to provide 1 electric crematorium for large size towns. Dhobi Ghat, 1, that is washing place, 1 site for 1 lakh population with appropriate arrangements for water and drainage facilities. Taxi stand, bus stand, rickshaw stands, this should be not be located near the road intersections. The minimum distance of such facilities should not exceed 0.5 km from the farthest point in any residential area. Comment, conclusion or suggestion, these are found to be sufficient. Now telecommunication facilities, communication 10 lines per 100 population. Okay. And common conclusion or suggestion is the standard for mobile and telecommunication tower with their safe location need to be provided in the guideline. In modern days, the norms and standards for Wi-Fi system and internet shall be considered. Postal services, one post office for 10 to 15,000 population. And this conclusion, comment or suggestion, these are found to be sufficient. Now norms and standards for traffic and transportation. Under this we come classification of urban roads and design standards of urban roads. Now norms and standards for transportation. Classification of urban roads. Arterial roads, roads for intra-urban traffic with no frontage access. Subarterial roads, roads for intra-urban through traffic with frontage access. Collector road, streets for collecting and distributing traffic from and to local streets and also providing access to arterial and subarterial roads. Local streets for access to residents, business or other abutting properties. Abutting means those coming near to street, having necessary parking and pedestrian movement free access to. Now design consideration of urban road. We have road type, speed and width of road. Arterial road, maximum limiting speed should be 80 km per hour and design width should be 50 to 60 meter. Subarterial road, the design speed is 60 to 60 km per hour and width should be 30 to 40 meter. Collector street, the speed limit is 50 km per hour and the width should be 20 to 30 meter. For local street, the speed should be 30 km per hour and its width should be 10 to 20 meter. Now cross-sectional elements, description and width. Single lane without curves 3.5 meter to 7 meter. Two lane without curves and two lane with curves 7.5 meter. Three lane with or without curves 10.5 to 11 meter. Four lane with or without curves 14 meter. And 6 lane with or without curves 21 meter and 2 lane without curves it should be 7 meter. Now comment, conclusion or suggestion, this road width shall be improved with informal parking on roads. Now footpath or sidewalk, capacity and required width of footpath all in one direction and in both directions. So in one direction, if 12 capacity should be 1220 people. In one direction it should be 18 meter 800 people and required width is about 1.5 meter. For 2500 people in one direction and for 1600 people in two directions, the minimum required width is 2 meter. For 3600 people walking in one direction and 2400 people walking in both the direction, the width should be 2.5 meters. For 4800 people walking in one direction and for 3200 people walking in both the direction, the width of the footpath should be 3 meter. And for 6000 people walking in one direction or 4000 people walking in both the direction, the minimum width of footpath should be 4 meter. Now comment, conclusion and suggestion. This is one of the important feature as many services can be laid down under footpath. It gives surface for pedestrian movement. These are usually not identified or demarked on site. Hence measures and regulations for footpath shall be improved. Now cycle track. The minimum width of cycle track should be 2 meter. Each additional lane where required should be 1 meter. Separate cycle tracks should be provided when the peak cycle traffic is 400 or more on roads where motor traffic is 100 to 200 vehicles per hour. When number of motor vehicles using roads is more than 200 per hour, separate cycle tracks are justified even if cycle traffic is only 100 cycles per hour. These are conclusion, suggestion or uh, comment. These are still missing on many urban roads. Hence regulations need to be effectively developed. Parking, equivalent car space for different vehicle. For car and taxi, one parking slot should be provided. For two-wheeler, 0.25 uh, area should be provided. For auto rickshaw, it should be 0.50, and for bicycle, it should be 0.15 space should be provided. Parking space requirement. The minimum parking space requirement for each car and truck is car 3 meter by 6 meter and truck 3.75 meter by 7.5 meter. For residential detached and semi-detached and row houses, plot area up to 100 square meter, no private or community parking space should be provided. For plot area between 101 to 200 square meter, only community parking space should be provided. Plot area of 300 to 500 square meter, minimum one third of open area for parking. Plot area of 501 to 1000 square meter, minimum one fourth of open area for parking, and plot area of above 1000 square meter, minimum one-sixth of the total space area for parking. For flats, please excuse me. I am absolutely sorry. Now, flats, one space for every two flats for of 50 to 90 square meter or more of floor area. One space for every flat of 100 square meter or more of floor area. Comment, conclusion or suggestion. Norms for public parking on street and off street shall be revised including the width of the road. Multi-level parking system by government shall be encouraged. Now, color specification for land use in a development area. We have color specification, zone description and color. Primary and residential zone, it should be yellow. Mixed and residential zone, it should be orange. Unplanned residential zone, it should be brown. Commercial residential zone, it should be blue. Industries, it should be purple. 6. Public and semi-public, it should be red. Recreational, green. Roads, black, and agriculture, green. Now conclusion. Land for urban poor. In Mumbai, more than 50% of population are slum dwellers, but they occupy only 8% of land. The development plan consists of various zones such as residential, commercial, industrial, recreational, no development zone, coastal regulation zone, but there is no reflection or there is no allocation of space for urban poor pavement dwellers, which is growing population and which needs immediate attraction to make megacities more appealing in aesthetically and functionally. It is the task to reform the strategies, policies by central, state and local government to serve the interest of urban poor. The reserve plot and coastal regulation zone norms can be modified to accumulate the land for urban poor. Now low FSI. In India, the FSI, that is floor surface index, ranges between 1.2 to 2% in large cities and 5 to 6% in mega cities. The low value of FSI tends to more consumption of land and hence shortage of land is faced for future development. This affect the lower and middle income group and household due to increased price of land. In Asian countries, the FSI practice is between 5 to 15. Hence, for affordability point of view, the FSI shall be increased to cater the demand of land. Educational facilities. For safety purpose, the additional space allocation for peak hour traffic in front of any school, colleges and other institutions shall be provided. Primary and secondary schools to be used in double shift with bigger intake for efficient use of land. Educational and institutional zones must be created in master plan. Land regulations. Land regulations shall be revised to reduce the difference between what is allowed and what is financially feasible. This can be achieved by more compact cities, more efficient land use and primary infrastructure, increase in consumption of FSI and decrease in trip length due to compact cities. Urban population density will likely to stay constant due to efficient land use. Thank you very much.